So have you ever heard about this technique? This is a tricky moment, very tricky moment. You have a lot of homework to do. So your teacher gave you grammar, vocabulary, reading, listening, and writing for 2 days, maybe 3. So what do you usually do? So this technique is a marvelous technique that was developed by one of the American universities to help students to go and finally achieve their dream at any kind of university abroad. Networking is not about using other people for your own purposes. That's being able to give something back. 20% of pure effort, like the really things that you need to do, will give you 80% of result. Hello one more time. I'm really glad to see you all today. I see that some of you were participating in Speaking Club, right? So how was it? Was it nice? Great. So as I see, you were discussing learning centers and university education, right? So which one was better? And as for today, we're going to discuss a very interesting technique that can help you in your future encouragements and your future endeavors. So that's going to be STAR technique. And the first question, I want you to be all involved, okay? So have you ever heard about this technique? No? You've never been interested? Now, another interesting question. I have heard from there that some of you were talking about going to international universities, going abroad, right? A lot of students are dreaming about it every day. Like, I'll go to Arizona, I'll go to America, Great Britain, whatever. Who really wants to go abroad? Like a good half, right? A good half. Now, this topic for you is a masterpiece, is a unique way on how to develop yourself as a future student and the future applicant. The person who is going to go to university, you should know that you're writing motivational letters, right? You're going to different interviews, right? So you have to present yourself, you have to be on top. So this technique is a marvelous technique that was developed by one of the American universities to help students to go and finally achieve their dream at any kind of university abroad. So today we'll discuss it for interviews, like all interviews, academic, job interviews, also motivational letters, how to write them, how not to write them, like good and bad examples. And also I will apply this technique to life management. So I think that procrastination takes a greater part of your life, right? So who knows about procrastination? Kind of interesting word, yeah? Difficult to say. So procrastination is the thing that you do every single day. So only 10 or 15% of people don't do it on a daily basis. So I will explain you the situation. You will understand what I mean. So you have a lot of homework to do. So your teacher gave you grammar, vocabulary, reading, listening, and writing for 2 days, maybe 3. So what do you usually do? You come after the lesson, yeah? You're full of motivation to do something, and you're like, okay, so let's do it tomorrow. Yeah? Tomorrow I have the whole day, I don't have English classes, so I will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, right? The evening time, and you are finding yourself like buried under all those papers, correct? So, and then you put it over and over and after and after. This is the procrastination. You see, this is how it works. You're not lazy, you just don't want to do it. That's the case, you see? And when we talk about STAR technique, it can help you to understand where you go, what you want, how to get it, and what to do with it. You see? So it can easily help you to understand where you are right now and where you want to be in 5, 6, 10 years' time. A very good one. So let's get started. And, We'll start with several rules, okay? I know that we're living in a modern world, right? And everyone is using their smartphones, right? Laptops, like I'm doing, so I'm totally connected with it. I cannot leave single hour without a phone. But I would like you to put a notification mode to a vibration one or anything that will not distract you. But you can use your phones, and I will ask you to use your phones during the meeting. Okay, so you can take photos of slides that you really like. You can take photos of handouts that I'm going to give you, all right? Then the second one, do not hesitate to ask questions. Hesitate, it means being shy. Okay, don't be shy. That's not the place to be shy. Exactly with me. I'm a teacher. I know what I'm talking about. Then take pictures, again, of important slides, of any information that you want. Share it with your friends. Share the knowledge. Go and tell somebody that you learned something new. Okay? And guys, make sure that I am not speaking really fast. So do you understand me? At this point, great. So who in this kind of group is higher than pre-intermediate level? So, great. Congratulations. You did it good. Now, what about the agenda? So agenda is the plan that we're going to cover today. So the first one is we will learn what's the STAR technique and why it's important in the modern world. Okay, we'll have some kind of discussion. Then the second part is STAR in motivational letters and networking reviews. Who knows about networking? What's that? Do not hesitate. It's not the place to be shy. Who knows? Nobody knows what's the networking? Sorry? Yes, exactly. Connection. Yes, communication, connection with other people. So at some point, I can call it as tanışbılış, you know. So if you know some kind of people, you can easily, you know, everything will be solved. So in English understanding, so networking is something that you developed around yourself and people who can come and help you. So it's like useful connections in your life. For example, you have a lawyer, you have a military worker, you have a teacher, you have somebody else, and when the problem comes, you know exactly whom to tell, whom to call, right? Whom to go to. So, third one, STAR in academic and professional interviews. So, mostly they are the same. So, there is a little difference. We'll talk it over. Then, STAR for life and action management. So, how to manage yourself and manage your life and your time. And practice using STAR. So, we will be practicing with each other. So, we'll be 2-3 groups, okay? And we will discuss it with you. So, the first part, as you can see, what is the STAR technique? As you can see, this is abbreviation, right? It means that every letter has its meaning. So now, let's guess. Let's create a guessing game. So STAR sounds really good, right? So really nice, like star, shiny, like a brilliant. So can you guess what kind of technique is it? What for? A forest. Yeah, like, can I ask? Guess, people, guess. Maybe S. What can that be for? Skill, okay, not bad. T. Technique, good. Teach, not bad. Start, without T, right? At the back, good. What else? A. Achieve, or another word. Aim can be, or somebody said active. You're pretty close to the right answer, pretty close. So, and T, R, sorry? Repetition can be, what else? What do we want to, yes, what do we want to see when we are learning English? We want to see a result, right? You are very close in these two letters. So now we will understand which it stands for. So, the first part. As you can see, S is situation. So, situation doesn't mean a place. Okay, so it's not the place where you're physically at, or you're sitting, or lying, or doing something. So, when we mean the situation, somebody asks us to describe the context within which you performed a job or faced some kind of challenges, weaknesses, or problematic situations. So your task is to give the listener or a reader understanding where you are and what exactly you did. You are starting with describing the place, the moment, people, and problem which you are in, or were in, if you're talking about the past. Then T is the task. Nobody guessed, right? But still. So we have to talk about our responsibilities in that task. Exact one. So I think that most of you are studying somewhere at schools, universities, and colleges, lyceums, right? And sometimes you are given project works, right? You have to work with other people, like in group of 3, 4, sometimes 5. 5 is too much. And I think that you know that sometimes you are like dividing, right? The work that you have to do. For example, you are doing the presentation, I'm doing, let's say, research, you are writing, you're da-da-da, and you have a part of responsibility, correct? Yes. And this is the thing that you have to describe. What kind of role did you take in that project? So the greater role, the greater achievement should be, you see? Then, action. What kind of actions? What did you do to do something well? How did you do that? And finally, what did it give you? You see, as a result. So this is a very good and logical way to describe yourself as a learner, first of all, as a worker, as a speaker, as a performer. You see? So instead of talking like, ta-ta-ta, I'm so good, na-na, I know this, I know that, it's just redundancy. It stands for nothing, right? It literally stands for nothing. For example, I will come up to you and say like, hello, I'm Ms.Olya, I'm 25 years old, I have IELTS, I have da-da-da. Will you be that interested? But if I tell you that in 4 months' time, I was able to prepare 100 students and they achieved at least 7 having the pre-intermediate level, and we did it through this, 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 and this. Will you be inspired? Yeah. Will it give you trust? Yes, definitely. Because I'm showing what? Situation, right? I'm showing you the task that we were aimed at 7 or at least 6.5, correct? With a short time period. Also, I described how I did it, like in this way. For example, I gave readings, vocabulary, so on. And finally, I showed you result, correct? Instead of talking and coming like, 7, I have 7, and no. It's not inspiring, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. That's why you can apply this technique to any kind of speaking, writing, or presenting yourself, especially during interviews. That's really important. And we are moving to the next part with you, and we are talking about star in motivational letters and networking reviews. So before we start, I would like to remind ourselves, what's the networking? Connection, exactly. Connection, what kind of connection? You can be connected to anyone. You can have a small talk with somebody on the street. What kind of connection is it? Yes, useful ones. People who can help you. People whom you need, right? This is the networking. So maybe you were in different situations where you needed other people around. Yes? When you needed to write someone, for example, your person who is responsible in a group for doing administrative work. Usually we call this word starosta. So if you know the starosta well, so anything can be solved easily, right? So if you have a good connection with starosta, so you don't have problems, correct? So you're coming up and saying like, no, can we do something about it? And yes, usually you're doing. So reviews of network is usually needed for motivational letters when you apply the motivational letter to any kind of university. So before we start, I would like to highlight some of the places where you will need this kind of reviews. Who has ever heard about Fulbright program? Okay, Chevening, Bill Gates Foundation. It seems to me that you're going to pay yourself for international university. Really, because now I am naming the foundations that can help you to pay for your university. So nobody has ever heard about Fulbright? No? No? Okay, so Fulbright is an American program that helps future leaders, as well as Chevening, to access to their dream universities, and also it pays. Not the full price, but it starts with 30%, then 50%, 70%, and if you're smart enough, 80%. Sometimes if you want a grant, let's say, in that case, they would give you the opportunity to go to university for free. That's bachelor's degree. And Fulbright is the program, which is annual one. So you can apply it annually. It goes for bachelor's degree and, if not mistaken, for master's as well. They will need this thing, actually. They will need your motivational letters, your reviews, and the interview with you. Then, Chevening. Nobody has heard? I will tell you about this thing, and 100% you will want it. Because 2 years ago, I wanted to. So I haven't heard about this, but as far as I discovered, that was something great. Okay, Chevening is the UK program that helps people all around the world to achieve their master's degree for free. So they will be paying your visa, transportation, university fee, they will be paying you a scholarship, and you will study for 1 year at any university of Great Britain that you like, if you are accepted, surely. So, of course, money is not given freely, right, to anyone who wishes it. No, there are specific criteria to do it. So the first one, you have to write 4 motivational letters. And one of them is networking, as you can see. And others like why Chevening, my networking abilities, and something else. So Google it up if you're really interested. Then you have to pass through the interview, and the most important factor, you have to be accepted to the university that you really like. So it means that you have to pass the exams. And if everything is successfully accomplished, you will be given the opportunity to go to Great Britain and study there for 1 year for free at any uni that you really like. Harvard, okay, no problem. Yale, no problem. Great, you see? Amazing opportunity, but not so many people get it, unfortunately. And finally, one that I personally like is Bill Gates Foundation. Who's ever heard? No? That's also a scholarship program that allows not only master's, but also bachelor's degree all around the world to achieve their dream. So usually it is in IT, engineering, math, some kind of, technical ways of learning, biology, chemistry, but also languages. If you really wish, you can apply to this program, and they are covering 80 or 70% of your cost. You see? All of them need this, unfortunately, or fortunately at some point. For some people, fortunately, who knows what to do it, but for others, not. So let's have a look. So we have to consider some tips while writing a motivational letter. So the first step is define an academic situation that you faced. So academic studies and university life is not only a great time, right? Full of interesting emotions, hanging out with your friends. Sometimes there are sessions, right? Exams, sleepless nights, problems with teachers, students, somebody else. You're always hungry, sleepy, bored, and all that stuff, right? And we are facing lots of problematic situations that you have to solve. But the one interesting thing is, it's not only about I came to my teacher and we could bargain. about something. Bargain, it means like, can you please do something, about my scores and ta-ta-ta. It's not academic situation, okay? Somewhere there, bro, it doesn't work, people. That's why you have to find something that you really faced. That was problem. And somehow you managed to solve it. Let's say there was a big project. You didn't like it, but you have to do it. And had to do it, and now you have to do it. So in that case, you imagine like, okay, so it comes up with my academic thing, with my academic way, and I have to do something about it. So now let's think how we can do. So the second step is we present a description of a task that you had to do in as many details as you can. So it means how many people were involved, that first. What was your task in that project? How you managed to overcome your fears, let's say your hesitation, maybe the lack of knowledge. Sometimes we don't know something, right? How did you deal with that? Then, as a third step, we would speak or write about a set of actions that you took to overcome the problem. What did you do? Exactly. Like, how did you do that? Then, make sure that your result is accomplished and relevant. So, sometimes we are taking an action, right? But we do not achieve the result, right? So, there is no result that we wanted ourselves. So, the problem has gone somehow, but not in the way that we liked. Right? Sometimes it's also possible. And this is a tricky moment, very tricky moment, because you have to present how you overcame the problem using your technique, using your way, and how your actions help to achieve the exact result. You see? Not like there was a problem, we like abracadabra, and everything went right. You see? No. It's not the thing. So that's why you have to understand that sometimes your actions are the way to result. Then, review the letter for coherence of ideas and general flow. So, coherence. What's that? IELTS students should know. What's the coherence? Logical way, exactly. Structure, logic, and the flow. So flow means that it goes first, then everything goes second, third, by the logical way. So we're using linking words, right, especially for speaking and writing. This is the last step. Sometimes when students are rewriting or let's say rehearsing their speech, rehearse means repeat. So when they rehearse their speech, they find out that actually it doesn't feel well, it doesn't look well, it doesn't sound well, and they have to go back to the first step, you see, and review all these steps again. Because your review and your speaking should be excellent to present yourself from the best side. Then, people, things to remember. The readers want to see your analytical skills and the ability to find solution. That's important for STAR technique. And it's important for both networking, life management, academic reviews, whatever it takes. So if you don't have an analytical way of thinking, so it won't work out, actually. So you will see it when I distribute the handouts, okay? You will see how two different application letters work differently on you. And we will discuss it, okay? Then, the next step is examples of good and bad motivational letters. So that's going to be very brief. I will give you 5 minutes to review, okay? We'll be working in small pairs because I have only 35 handouts with me. And we will discuss these questions, okay? So 1 handout per 2 people, okay? Work in small pairs. So I would like you to take it and distribute it. Girls, can you take the first part? Yes, and move it forward. Boys, 1 handout for 2 people, okay? Maybe for 3 if you are like friends or acquaintances, so it's pretty nice. So, no. 1 per 2 or 3 people. Yeah, because it's not enough, guys. Work in small groups. Please distribute it back. So everyone should be involved. So, quicker, people. It's Sunday, everybody has got what to do. Was it enough? Yes, take one if you're not working with anyone in here. Yeah, and distribute a few there. Thank you. Mister, move closer. Great. Guys, have you got? Enough? Well done. So now, as you can see, in your papers, you have two examples, right? It's not written. Guys, listen to me carefully. So instructions come first, okay, before you start doing. So as you can see, the paper is divided in two parts, right? So I haven't written which of them is good, which of them is bad, okay? I will give you 5 minutes. Your task is to read both of them carefully, okay? And understand yourself which one is a good one, you think, and which one is bad, and why is it so? So these questions will help you to understand which one to pick. You are examiners, okay? You are people who accept these writers to universities or to work. Which one would you accept and why? So 5 minutes for working, okay? Let's go. So, if you're ready, we can discuss it. Who's ready? Please take up their heads. Great, great. You're good readers, people. To cover this kind of piece of reading is really good. Well done. You can take photos of these examples if you wish. Like, maybe you will need it in your future to have a look at. So, ready to work? Yeah? Okay. So, as you can see, we have 4 basic questions, right? But they are really important. Now, I would like you to give me answers so that I understand that you really got it, okay? That's really important. Now, let's have a look at example number 1. So, it's, if not mistaken, your left side, right? So, example number 1, from left side of the paper. What do you think about it? Good one, so yeah, but why? Yeah. So one by one, people, one by one, raise their hand and speak. Girls, maybe you'll try. The boys are shy today, hesitating.
Because the first one,
no? You don't want to? Okay.
because in first one, there are some smart techniques.
Okay.
He also explains everything step by step.
Yes, that's true. But how did you get it that a star mistake? Are any examples?
Yeah. For example, he used certain personal conditions to illustrate the service line.
Yes, he said the situation, right? What he did. And finally, did he give you the result? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. You see, there is a result, there is outcome, right? So, people, now boys, I would like to ask this row, this mostly consists of boys. So, people from this row, did it give you the trust? Did you believe that person in the left column? Yeah or not? Will you accept this person to university? You are examiners, let's say. Will you believe this person? Yeah? Or you have to something to say? Yeah, you would accept. Girls, this row? Yeah? Boys at the back, girls at the back? Did you believe the first person? Yeah? Great. So as you can see, this is a good example of motivational letter. And let's discuss what's wrong with the second one. I think it's kind of, crazy example, right? So what's wrong with the second example of writing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. There is no interest for the examiner to know your past problems. Do you really need to know that 2 or 3 days ago my vacuum cleaner broke? Come on. Yeah, that was a problem for me. I set the task, I came to the mechanic, I solved it, and there is a result, it works again. But does it really connect with something that I need? No. And you see, the second example is over emotional, right? Over. It's like, it's so fascinating, it's so good, it's so amazing, I really like it. How did it happen? So is it okay for academic writing to be so reactive? No. You have to be precise. You see? You have to be consistent. You have to be logical, coherent, not expressing your emotion. I'm so happy that I came to your uni. Please accept me. I'm a good person. Really? Everybody here is a good person. But it's not the thing that examiner want to see. You see, guys? So the first one is trustworthy. The second one seems childish. Right? Like a child. I'm so happy that I came to your uni. So this is the thing that you have to keep in mind. You see, when you are writing, you have to be coherent and consistent. So, any questions so far? No questions? Great. So it means that we are moving on. And we are coming to networking. Networking as motivational letter, networking as a part of life. So, first of all, networking, is it a skill or practical need? Yes, exactly. But for some people, networking becomes a skill. After many, many years, when the person realizes that, I need these people around, so it becomes a skill. When he sees the person, he doesn't see the benefit. For example, he's a doctor, it means the treatment will be free. No, it's not like this. So he understands that he will need this person, and that person will need me. You see, networking is not about using other people for your own purposes. That's being able to give something back to these people as well. You see, this is a networking. So if you're just using people, you are just using people. You see? And it's not the networking. Someday they will come up to you and say, hey, I did this for you. Can you please do this for me? And you are like, sorry, I don't know anything. I don't know how to do it. You see? That's not with networking. You're breaking your networking connections. Guys, you see? So again, networking is peer-to-peer connection. You have to be able to give something back. So, and for some people, at first step, it's a practical need. Now, you need it. After 5 to 7 years, it will become a skill. Definitely. So you will see how to develop it and how to use it. So networking is a really powerful skill for future leaders to succeed in their life. And networking, we can subdivide into people you communicate with. So usually we communicate with different people, right? Some of them are your friends, some of them your colleagues, some of them are your enemies, right? You have to communicate sometimes with your enemies as well. Usually it's like a conflict, but still you communicate. So second, people you have common interest with. You see? These are your friends. Correct? These are your family, maybe your partners, wives and husbands, maybe your children, and so on. And people you establish connection with. Now, the final point is your choice. You see? It's your own choice. You decide whom to establish the connection with. Will you need that people? Will that people need you after some time? You see? You start being selective. You are not communicating with everyone who is in your surrounding. Like, you are my friend, you are my friend, you are my friend, and I forgot your name, but okay. So you are my friend as well. You see? So it's not a networking, guys. You're just being too sociable at some point, but it's not the networking. Still, mostly we're doing these two factors. The thing is being sensitive to me. So, okay, we usually use these two things in our lives. We communicate with people whom we like, right? These are our friends, someone else. And we have the interest too, usually. Who, in a perfect mind, would communicate with someone whom they don't like? You think no one? Yes, exactly. Strategic minders. They know, they understand that they don't like that person. Okay, but that person is beneficial. You see, this is the moment of networking. Not that clean, a bit dirty, but still, that's a moment of networking. You see, strategic thinkers and analytical thinkers really believe that you should communicate with your friends, but take your enemies closer. Because if you take your enemy closer, it can give you, first of all, critical thinking from a side. He knows or she knows what you're bad at, you see. Also, one day your enemy can become your friend. And it would be even better because you overcame some kind of problems with that person. You see? Interesting fact. That's why do not think that the life is black and white. It's full of colors. And you have to understand it from the very beginning. Now, let's move on. So, we will go to part 3. I forgot it. And using STAR in academic and job interviews. So, the first thing, how do you think academic interview and the job interview, do they have same features or they are totally different? Totally different, you think. Okay, so the interesting question, why? No, really, like why? I cannot hear you from here. I don't give you the mic, actually. No, why? Mm-hmm. Personal details, like what's your height, what's your weight, like how many children you have. Sometimes what? Something like that. Okay, what about academic? General. Okay, like what is your favorite color and what kind of hobby you do? What do people exactly ask you at this kind of interviews? Skills, yeah, good. Do we need skills for both of this? Yeah, at some point, yes, we need skills. In this part, academic skills, right? For example, to read fast, to take action fast, correct? What about this? Job interview. What kind of skills we will need? Practical one, yes. Let's say they are called as vocational skills. Have you ever heard? Yeah? So vocational skills is like something that you can do manually, like plumber, jewelry maker, and so on. So practicality. But not only the practicality. Have you heard about soft skills and hard skills? Both of them. So what's that? Like soft skills. You need to be soft? Put the cream on your skin or what? What kind of thing should you be? Sorry, come. Correctness. So, being correct and being tolerant, you mean? What's that? Soft skill or hard skill? Soft skill. But what about hard skills, people? Hard. Yes, he's totally right. Practical skills. So, soft skills is the ability to communicate. Okay, with other people. Like you are loyal, you are tolerant, you're sociable, active, smiling, open-minded. So you are not creating a conflict with other people, you see? While hard skills is something that you know. You see? Something that you can present at work. For example, I'm a teacher. Right? So my profession is being a teacher. I have a hard skill. This is methodology, pedagogy, philosophy, so the whole list. I am a linguist, I'm a language learner, language teacher. So this is the thing that I know. At the same time, I asked you, Sorry, people. So, at the same time, I am being very sociable with all people around, especially with my students. So I establish a very good connection. So why not? If they are free, if it's friendly atmosphere, so they are learning English quicker, right? Because they are not afraid. We can smile, we can joke, we can be sarcastic. So this is my soft side. You see, soft skills that I do for my personal life. Then, as you can see, both of these events are aimed at understanding you as a conflict managing person, knowledgeable and trustworthy. You see, both of them. Trustworthy means something or somebody you can believe, you can rely. It means that this person will do exactly what he was asked to do. Not something, okay, deadline is tomorrow, I will bring it tomorrow or maybe 3 days after. You see, it doesn't work this way. So you have to be trustworthy, both in these spheres. Then, using a STAR technique can help you to prove it is being sensitive in several ways. Let's have a look. Ability to work in a team, how you can work, communicate, and socialize with other people. Knowing the goal and ways to achieve it. So, does everybody here know their goal? For 1 year? For 2 years? Okay, for a month at least. Do you know your goal? Where you have to be after a month? Who thinks yes? Raise your hands. Who thinks yes? Okay. Who has a plan for 6 months? Good. Strategic management. Well done. For a year. Boys are like, I have to buy a car. Yeah. Good. Girls, I don't know what's going to wear tomorrow. So who is asking me about the plan, right? Okay. So having a plan for a year, people listen, no longer is modern life priority. Interesting but sad truth. So our life makes us flexible. You see? You have to create a plan. You have to follow the plan, but at the same time, the plan shouldn't be concrete. You see? It should be movable. It should be flexible. You can change it, and still, if you change the road, you'll still go back to your dream. You see? Again, you change the road, but still you go back to your dream. This is the modern ability that job interview and academic interview are asking for. So then, strategic management. So you develop a plan, you go for its plan. Then, seeing the result of your action. Sometimes we do something that we don't see the result for, right? Or it takes too much time that people give up somewhere in the middle. I know, because I'm an IELTS and a general English teacher, I know how it's hard just to come to intermediate level and feeling this kind of sense that you are stuck, right? You stopped. You do not move. It seems to you that you do the same mistake over and over and over again, and there seems no progress, right? Sometimes it's kind of visible. And the interesting thing about it is that you shouldn't stop. There is a goal, just somewhere in your future. You know that you will stop it some way. But achieving this goal is a really good skill that you develop in yourself, and your future employers and future examiners should see it in you, that you can really achieve it. That's why at some point they are the same. Got it? Good? Come on, man. Okay, let's move on. So, part 4. STAR for strategic life management. We are about to finish, but we will have a room, like some space, 10 minutes practice for developing your STAR model, okay? Your own one. So, let's go. Strategy is a main source of goals accomplished. You know, that you cannot be chaotic, right? I will do this, then do this. Tomorrow I'll go to guitar classes. The day after tomorrow, I'll go to learn Japanese because I like anime. So after a week, I will go somewhere else. I'll take up the drawing courses. Why not? I can do everything. And then you're burnt out, lying in your bed and thinking about this life. Right? So in this case, you will need a good strategy. And there should be proportion. So at some point, people, if you look at the graph, everything here is stabilized. You see, it is stable. So 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and it takes up 100%. But nobody can do like this. Nobody, literally. We cannot pay exact and the same amount of our attention, our strength, and our effort to every single step of your life. You see, sometimes something is bigger. Sometimes something is smaller. Then it changes places. It's important to understand in what kind of period of your life something will change. You see, from work and study to family, from family to career, from career to maybe hobbies, you see, or work and family again. This is the strategy. And future examiners need to see it. Where do you pay most of your attention to? And the future job takers will also understand this if you tell them about it. Let's have a look. So here I have listed 5 most things that you're spending your time for or wasting. It depends on you. So inspiring time. What does it mean? This is the time for yourself. When you are alone, when you take up ideas, when you create your future plan. Then work or a hobby. You see? So do you have work? People who works in here? Me too. Hello. So do you have hobby? Great. So who has hobby in here? Okay, great. Oh, so many people. That's good. People, that's good. I do gardening, for example. I love plants in pots. That's great because when they are like thriving and growing, that's superb. So good. Having a hobby is a good way to go away from everyday routine and have some inspiring time, right? To take back the energy. And it's good when your work and your hobby is the same thing. It's really nice. It's really good. So the next one is leisure time. Leisure time can be different. Active or passive, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're lying in a bed, reading a book, listening to podcast. It's also leisure time. You're riding a horse somewhere in outskirts of Tashkent. Great, also leisure time. You see, it doesn't matter. Then, he doesn't want to work today. It's Sunday. So private life. Private life can be the mixture of friends, husbands, wives, partners. Then it's something very close that you don't want to show to other people. But still, it's really important. And finally, studies. You're all involved in studies right now, right? For academic interviews and using STAR technique, studies will take up more of your time. You see, the most, let's say, of your time. So, and everything else will be less. Now, do not forget 80 to 20 rule. Have you ever heard? Business coaches, life managers, no? Nothing? Let's review it, guys. 80% of effort gives 20% of result. And 20% of effort gives 80% of result. 1 minute to understand it first. Because it's crazy, right? How would that even be possible? Guys, I will explain. Everything is pretty simple. We spend 80% of our time for doing the things that will not bring us to visible result. Routine things. You see? Like calling, answering the phone, talking to people out of your networking group that will not bring you to anywhere. Doing some kind of things that actually possibly can bring you to the result, but they will give you only 20%. You see? And vice versa, 20% of pure effort, like the really things that you need to do, will give you 80% of result. And also there is an interesting thing, like it is quadratic matrix, which speaks about the things that you waste your energy and time for. Urgent, but not needed. Needed, but not urgent. You see? Urgent and needed. Not urgent, not needed. So try to find it on the web. So if you come to the second training, I really promise that I will bring it to everyone in here, but it's a really nice one. So you will understand how much time you spend for Instagram, TikTok, and chatting in Telegram. Yeah, this one is the really time wasters. And finally, people, we're coming to an end. So, networking in pairs, that's the practice time. So before we start, I would like you to take your phones. Everybody has it. You can use the papers if you wish. Maybe you have a pen. So, I will put back to start technique, okay? Do you remember the second, third slide that was situation, task, action, result? Now, you will have 3 minutes to think about the academic situation in which you were and apply STAR technique to describe it to your partner who sits next to you. Okay? So you have to think about the situation, what you did in this situation, what you had to do, and what kind of progress you had. Okay? So you will be given 3 minutes. Please think it over. Then we will be working in small pairs. Okay? 3 minutes are starting now. I will put back to the start thing. Yeah, here you are. You can use it if you wish. So think about any academic thing or maybe academic challenge that you once had. Maybe you had to work in a group. Discuss and explain this situation to your partner. Then discuss what was the task, what you had to do, what you did in that situation exactly, and what kind of result you got from this situation. For example, you worked in a project, let's say task, and you had to do the presentation, very beautiful one. So that was the task. Right? I had to do the presentation with diagrams and so on. So how you did it, what you used, for example, then what it gave you at the back. Okay? So 3 minutes to think. So 1 minute has gone. Now you will be working in small pairs. I think girls are working in group of 3, right? You will be sharing ideas. Boys, 2. Okay, you're paired. Guys, you'll be working in 3 or together. It doesn't matter? Okay, so in group of 3, boys, you're together. Now, you're 3, right? Okay, you're friends. Good luck. Boys, working 3? Yeah, okay. Working as a 3, together. Boys, working as a 3. So, no, I'm not working. Okay, boys, working in a group of 3? Yeah, okay. 3, you guys? I see your partners, yeah, together. Guys, together. Share ideas, okay? Don't be shy. Nobody is kicking here. So, you're working with me or with somebody else? Oh, with me. Okay, great then. So, girls, together. Now, girls, what about you? In a group of 3? Okay, nice. Mister, what about you? I found you a partner. So, you can be working together. Great. So, groups of 3 or 2? Groups of 3. Yeah, okay. So you're 2 together. Okay. Now, your task is to, one by one, discuss briefly the situation, starting with, you see, situation, task, action, result. Then other people will tell, are they impressed or it was bad? Okay? So your task is to impress other people, make them believe that you're exactly right. Okay? Please start working. You have 5 minutes. Go. If somebody is not working, I'm coming to that person. Work. Work and discuss. Miss, you can come up here to her, for example. Discussing, boys, I'm coming up to you. So, girls are still sharing ideas, right? Great, good. Okay, people, guys, boys and girls. It seems to be very interesting, right? Sharing life stories that you achieved something. Okay. Great. The time for speaking is over. Thank you so much for discussing it. I really hope that you get something valuable for you today and you will apply this technique in your future interviews and your future cover and motivational letters. So if you need more practice, you can go to British Council, to different websites that are aimed at job interviews or business and life coaching. Okay, so this information is valuable there. There are lots of videos if you really wish to know a bit more about this topic, or write to me, I will send you the materials, okay? Thank you so much for being with us today and have a productive day ahead. Bye-bye.